E a pergunta que não quer calar, agora com o encerramento da compra da Activision Blizzard King pela Microsoft, quando é que os jogos dessas empresas vão chegar finalmente ao Game Pass? Quer saber sobre isso? Vem comigo que eu te conto. Salve senhores, salve senhoras, Léo Zera na área, e depois de uma semana muito empolgante, uma sexta-feira maravilhosa e fim de semana tenebroso para todo mundo, começamos a segunda-feira e tivemos aí no podcast Gamer de ontem a maior conversa sobre a chegada da Activision Blizzard e finalmente quando os jogos vão chegar no Game Pass. E hoje, com a nova leva da última quinzena do mês de outubro aí nos jogos do Xbox, não tivemos nada da Activision Blizzard incluídos, e aí vem uma entrevista, um podcast do Phil Spencer, onde ele comenta não só sobre quando os jogos vão chegar, mas também outras coisas, se podemos ver jogos antigos ou franquias que serão revividas ou revitalizadas ou renovadas, que tá todo mundo pedindo. E nesse caso eu legendei o podcast, a participação do podcast do Phil Spencer em português do Brasil e, claro, eram 38 minutos, eu separei só o que interessava e a gente vai passar algumas partes para vocês, são 4 partes e a gente vai comentar a respeito de cada uma delas, então se liga só no que ele começa a falar.
Is a very special time for gamers and, to be honest, for us as well. In case you missed it, late last week, Activision Blizzard and all of their teams formally joined Team Xbox. It is a huge deal. What is it going to mean for all of you players out there? That's why we've got Phil here. We're going straight to the source. I'm pleased to welcome you here to the show, but also as Team Xbox, we are really pleased to welcome all the folks from Activision, Blizzard, and King to Team Xbox.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been, how should we say, it's been a long journey. I loved in our video, our announced video, there was the line about, it's been about time. It has been a long journey, but to those teams, because I mean, they've had to sit kind of in an uncertain state, watching a lot of the news, like a lot of our own teams. It's just awesome to have the creative capability and energy of Activision Blizzard King, part of our Xbox team, what we're trying to go do. The reason I'm flying to Stockholm today to go see the King teams. I'm excited about that. Next week, I'll be down in Southern California to see the Activision teams and the Blizzard teams. I want to go in, I want to listen, I want to learn, I want to hear what they're passionate about, their feedback, their energy. It's a big moment. It's a big moment for us, a lot of opportunity, and I'm incredibly excited by it all. So welcome to the team.
Also, the big deal has closed on Friday, and I'm seeing a lot of headlines, a lot of YouTubers saying things like, it's done. And we were talking earlier, This isn't the end. This is really the beginning with Xbox and Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, I think the regulatory process, let's just say it took so long that it almost felt like the game or the kind of goal itself was to get through the regulatory process. That's just the beginning. In fact, this evening I'm flying to Stockholm to see the King team. It's a team I don't know that well, so I'm really excited to go see them. I think we're in Stockholm and then London. They have a couple other locations. I don't know that we're going to make to all the locations, but I'm really excited about seeing the teams. The following week, I'm going down to Southern California. I'll go to Blizzard. I'll go see Activision. And to me, when I think about where we're trying to go, it always starts with the teams, right? The teams have to feel motivated. They have to feel inspired. They have to feel safe. They have to feel heard. And because their passion, their commitment to the things that they build, the way they run their games, that comes from the culture of who they are. I've said it many times. I think teams ship their culture in everything they do, whether it's implicit or explicit. You can kind of feel the dynamic on a team and the creative output, whether it's a band, whether it's a writer, or whatever. So spending time with the teams and getting to hear from them where they're going. I have some of my own opinions, of course, but they're just opinions. This is getting time with the teams, thinking about where we're trying to go, then looking at the games and where we are and where the roadmap, that's really where the work is, and I'm very, very excited about it.
Nesse primeiro vídeo a gente viu o Phil Spencer aí, inclusive bem emocionado, suspirando, né? Imagina tirando um peso dele, dizendo que finalmente essa compra acabou. Foram aí praticamente 20, 21 meses desse processo. Imagina o quanto que esse cara trabalhou e lutou para que isso acontecesse, para beneficiar todos os gamers. E ele comenta ali com muito carinho sobre as equipes da Activision Blizzard King. Inclusive ele comenta que está viajando para Estocolmo para conhecer a equipe da King, desenvolvedora do Candy Crush. Inclusive ele comenta nos próximos vídeos que é uma das mais importantes porque eles têm uma expertise muito grande com dispositivos móveis e modelo de negócio para celulares, jogos celulares, que é diferente de jogos de consoles ou PC, que ele quer aprender muito. Mas no geral ele fala sobre todas as equipes ali, que ele sempre se refere às equipes que foram adquiridas agora para se sentirem muito bem à vontade. Muito carinhoso, Phil Spencer, hein? E com certeza não é só isso. Agora vem a pergunta que não quer calar. E os jogos do Game Pass? Cadê os jogos da Activision Blizzard no Game Pass?
And as part of that journey, obviously there's the big burning question that everybody would like to know, and you mentioned it in your Xbox Wire
When's
post.
Hexen coming back? That's what people want to know.
I think that's what you want to know.
Might be one of my questions.
Yes, but that is part of it. But it's also, and you wrote in your Xbox Wire post last week as well, that the work has started on bringing Activision Blizzard King games to Game Pass and other platforms. And I think like speculation and wish lists have been running wild ever since last week. So I'm sure you've seen all of that. But what does that mean exactly, especially when we think about our last acquisition in 2021 with Bethesda? There was a fairly immediate drop of back catalog games. So I think people are looking to that and wondering, is that kind of how the format is going to go now? Or what does that actually look like?
And I think rightfully so, right? When we finished Bethesda, there was this great moment. We were able to put a bunch of the back catalog games in, celebrate their history. The truth of the matter is, with Activision Blizzard King, that the regulatory process took so long, and frankly, there was a lot of uncertainty in that process up until really a week before we closed, or the week of, when the CMA finally came down to their decision, that we weren't able to get in and work with mostly Activision and Blizzard in this case, on that back catalog work. So now that the deal is closed, we're starting that work, but there is work. And I think the Activision Twitter handle or X handle, whatever we're calling it, did put out a statement. I can't call it X, but Twitter handle did put out something that talked about 2024. I think that's accurate. There's no. I would love it if there was some kind of secret celebration drop that's coming in the next couple of weeks. There's not. It's definitely when we think about the new games that are there. I would be straight with people, right? If we were going to put them in the subscription this year, I would tell people, and I know there'll be some disappointment about that. This acquisition is definitely long-term. So the fact that we're not hitting day one with a bunch of games dropping in to Game Pass is a little bit of a downer, but I'm very excited about the future. And I just want to be straight with people that that's where we are.
Eu acho que não precisa nem falar muito, né? Ficou bem claro, e o Phil Spencer comentou que realmente a mensagem que foi já divulgada pela Activision antes do fechamento da compra, e o que ele já comentou a respeito também brevemente, os jogos não chegam tão rápido, talvez nem cheguem em 2024, porque o foco da Microsoft era tão grande em fechar a compra, encerrar a compra, proporcionar, né, os reguladores o que eles queriam para que a coisa fosse concluída de forma perfeita, que não deu tempo, não deu para eles evoluírem nos jogos, principalmente nos jogos retrocompatíveis, jogos mais antigos da Activision Blizzard, para chegar no Game Pass. Então isso vai ficar em algum momento em 2024. A gente não sabe quando nem quanto tempo vai demorar, mas esperamos que no começo do ano a gente já comece a receber novidades.
So let's talk about, we were talking about the rumors of when, things might appear on Game Pass. The other sort of like set of rumors or speculation out there.
Rumors.
There's only the two, right? Is like,
two.
Are you bringing back Guitar Hero or Tony Hawk, or would you have Infinity Ward work on this Xbox IP or franchise or something like that? And that stuff's been, there was 20 months to think about those types of things.
Yeah.
But now that officially the team is joined as of Friday, so you have 9 studios, there's a wealth of IP from Activision. Like, how are you thinking about these new teams, these new franchises, or new to us franchises? Like, how do you even take all of that in?
Yeah, the first thing, as I kind of mentioned before, is to go spend time with the teams. Because I just don't think that a team working on something that isn't their passion leads to the best result. So I might have my list of things from my memories in history that I want to see made again. Everybody will, right? When I just think about, not just about Activision Blizzard King, you add in Bethesda, you add in Xbox's history, Rare, like the amount of franchises that we now have in our portfolio it's kind of inspiring. It's daunting. I feel that we have to be a great custodian for the content that we touch. These are memories from people on different platforms, different decades. And I want to make sure that when we're going back and visiting something, that we do it with our complete ability, a motivated team that wants to go work on something and make a difference, not just create something for financial gain or create something for a PR announcement and not deliver on the product. So I'm going to start with the teams and what are they passionate about. That's why I'm excited to go on these visits. And then we'll look at it. Like I think we've done an okay job as Xbox. I don't think we've done kind of an A+ job on looking at our franchises and revisiting them. It's always a trade-off between what do you do that's new and going back and doing something. I do think with Game Pass, we have the ability to maybe pick a couple franchises every year and almost do like a revisited. I just made up that term, so it's not a brand.
It's not on a box.
It's not on a box, but I tease about things like Hexen just because I remember playing it as a kid. I have no plan for that. But I do think when you look across all of the franchises and are part of our teams, there's an opportunity for us to go back, even if it's just to recognize the moment and what those things meant in gaming's history and do something right with it, make it available to people through Game Pass. I think there's an opportunity. There's not a plan for that, but there's an opportunity. If teams want to go back and revisit some of the things that we have and do kind of a full focus on it, I'm going to be all in on that, because I think there's just an amazing trove of things that we can go and touch again. It doesn't have to just be about Activision and Blizzard. Like I said, when you look across all the portfolio, I think about things like the Quake 2 remaster. It just came out from it. I thought that was awesome, right? They did a real good job revisiting a game, making it current, but also not leaving the history behind. So I'd love to see more things like that.
Are there any other games or franchises, just for you personally, deep in the vault that we can now potentially explore, that you're just personally excited for people to discover for the first time or maybe rediscover?
I hadn't really thought about that question. Specific on Activision and Blizzard, there's some moments in Activision's history. You mentioned Tony Hawk, you mentioned Guitar Hero, even things like Skylanders, or that were moments where the teams kind of innovated outside of expectation. What do you mean I'm going to carry a plastic guitar and plug it into my console and play? Like, that's never going to work until it worked. And then everybody said, well, of course that was going to work. Skylanders kind of the same way. For me personally, though, when I think about the franchises, I kind of go back to things like some of the old Infocom things that were, like, if you just asked for me personally, part of my youth, the Text Adventure Zork, those kind of things. I think about King's Quest. I thought they did a really nice job. But like those, the Sierra catalog, the Infocom catalog, just because of my age, like those things speak to me because they were moments in my gaming career, my gaming kind of experience that really meant something. And I love those. When you think about Blizzard and all these things that they've done, it's like amazing franchise. StarCraft, like it was in the video that the teams did, which I know there's been some discussion about should we have done a video for an acquisition or not. But there's just some amazing franchises in there. Most important is that we treat them with the respect that they deserve, and we don't turn it into some way for us just to kind of, like I said, a PR moment or something else.
Mais pedaço na parte que envolve os jogos da Activision Blizzard King chegando ao Game Pass. O lance agora são franquias icônicas, coisas que foram lançadas no passado. Se comentou aí de Guitar Hero, se comenta sobre até a brincadeira do Phil Spencer com o Rex. E esse comentário todo, essa questão toda surgiu com essa pipocação de coisas no Twitter, os rumores do Twitter e nas redes sociais por aí. Depois que a Microsoft fizesse a compra, eles trariam de volta essa franquia A ou B, e muito se fala sobre isso, e Phil Spencer comentou a respeito de como isso pode funcionar. Ele deixou claro dizendo que ele vai conhecer as equipes, entender se essas equipes podem ou não trabalhar nesses jogos, trazer franquias icônicas de volta à vida ou não, porque ele quer que as pessoas trabalhem com muita paixão no que fazem, naquele jogo. Se não tiver a paixão, se não tiverem com a sua alma, dedicação ali, às vezes não é bom executar. Mas olha só o que ele comentou, foi legal, né?
Now let's talk about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 coming out next month. Very excited. I played the beta over the weekend.
The open beta, what did you think?
It's very interesting getting humbled by your reaction time going down every single year.
Okay, young man.
It's very clear that
I count my reaction time in like tens of seconds now.
Well, people are getting really good at the game, but to that point, like people are really excited about it. And I think for players who may not be playing on Xbox, they want to know, what does this mean for them on their platform? Like, is Xbox going to see exclusive DLC, early release, things like that? So what can you tell players who are looking to play Call of Duty on other
And when we
platforms?
say other platforms, I think we're talking about PlayStation.
Yeah, I think
that other one.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think the PC players, their PC is unique, and I want it to feel like it's part of the overall gaming platform that Xbox focuses on. We've been on that journey for a while with our first party and our Xbox app on PC. There's a lot of work for us to continue to do there. For Call of Duty players on PlayStation and in the future on Nintendo, I want you to feel 100% part of the community. I don't want you to feel like there's content you're missing out, there's skins you're missing out, there's timing that you're missing out on. That's not the goal. The goal is 100% parity across all platforms as much as we can for launch and content. I say as much as we can on parity because clearly some platforms have resolution and frame rate differences just based on perf. But there's nothing else. Like we have no goal of somehow trying to use Call of Duty to get you to buy an Xbox console. So it is, I want the Call of Duty nation to feel supported across all platforms. We've been on the other side of some of those skins and times, even this beta, wasn't on Xbox the first week. I don't think that helps the community. I don't think that helps the game. And so it's the focus. If you're a PlayStation player, you're a Nintendo player, PC player, or an Xbox console player, I want you to feel like 100% part of the Call of Duty nation.
Esse trecho também é muito legal e muito importante. A pergunta vem diretamente falando sobre Call of Duty 3, né? Modern Warfare 3. E Phil Spencer, ele expande a questão do Call of Duty para outros jogos que serão lançados e também respondendo que, principalmente quem está no PlayStation, ele comenta também do Nintendo, mas principalmente do PlayStation, né? Que vão receber os mesmos conteúdos, que todas as plataformas receberão de forma igual. Até comentou a respeito que tem algumas plataformas que não vão ter a mesma qualidade em performance, frames por segundo, essas coisas do tipo, porque realmente não aguentam, mas que ele não quer que as pessoas percam o momento do jogo, um DLC, uma skin, um lançamento. E ele cutuca, inclusive, dizendo ali, né, por exemplo, que a Microsoft, o Xbox já esteve do outro lado do jogo, do outro lado da rua, né, e perdeu coisas no Call of Duty porque eram só exclusivas para o PlayStation, como deu o exemplo do beta, né, de Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, que foi aberto primeiro para quem está no PlayStation, o Xbox chegou depois e ele falou, eu não gosto disso, eu acho que isso não beneficia ninguém, eu também justamente não gosto desse tipo de coisa também, mas é o modelo da Sony e agora a gente vai ver a Microsoft abrindo e expandindo isso para todos os jogadores, muito legal.
Awesome. But so we've been talking about, obviously we've been doing the show for a few weeks now. We've been talking about Diablo, Overwatch, all these awesome games that Activision and Blizzard both work on. But we talk about ABK. The K stands for King.
Yeah.
And that's definitely mobile gaming focused. And so how are you thinking about mobile gaming as it pertains to Xbox?
My goal as head of Xbox is, I've been here over 20 years. I want Xbox to be a great brand, a great community for people over the next decades to come. So when I've thought about that, of what do we need to have in our portfolio and our capability as a team to ensure 30 years from now, Xbox is bigger and stronger than it is today, we've got to be relevant on mobile. There's just no way to really plot the future without being on the platform that most of the planet plays on. The games are different, the business models are different, the whole dynamic of how you distribute, how you find games is different. So when I was looking at that, I needed to find a team that's had amazing success for us to learn from. So literally, Amy Hood, who's the CFO of Microsoft, and I went through a list of who are the most accomplished publishers in the mobile space. And most people wouldn't have expected, I didn't, that Activision would have been as high with the King work, as well as the Call of Duty mobile work, Warzone stuff that they've been doing, Diablo Immortal. And so I want to go learn from those teams, because I think it's critical for us to deliver on the full promise of over 2 billion people playing, the opportunity to reach more of 3 billion people playing video games, to reach more and more people, that people who only play on their phone find Xbox to be something that's interesting for them. It doesn't mean I want to turn all of our franchises into mobile franchises. It doesn't mean everything's going to go free to play. I think the distribution and business model kind of diversity that we have is a strength of the platform. People who want to buy games, I love that. People who want to subscribe to their games, it's great. Free-to-play games are great as well. But I'm really looking forward to learning on mobile, because it's the truth of the matter is if you're going to continue to be relevant in gaming at a global scale, you're going to have to find a way to be relevant on the largest platform, which is mobile. So looking forward to flying and seeing King and talking to them and learning.
E por fim, Phil Spencer fala bastante sobre a King, né? Na parte da Activision Blizzard King, Activision e Blizzard são muito conhecidas pelos nós gamers de console e PC. A King, que é dona do Candy Crush, talvez seja o jogo é gigantesco, mundialmente conhecido, tem milhões de jogadores, se não bilhões, e talvez muita gente não conheça. E aí, exatamente a pergunta que foi feita no vídeo é para explicação, dizer qual a importância da King nesse processo, nessa compra. Afinal de todas, o Microsoft e Phil Spencer sempre foram muito claros dizendo que eles querem atacar e muito forte os jogadores que estão nos dispositivos móveis, que eles pensam, entendem, veem que isso é o futuro do Xbox, para levar o Xbox e proporcionar toda o seu ecossistema por décadas e décadas. Então realmente a King é uma parte importante no processo, e como vocês puderam ver aí, o Phil comenta que vai lá aprender com eles, muito humilde como sempre, vai ser muito legal ele poder extrair esse conhecimento dessa equipe bem bacana. E é isso, galera, o que vocês acharam? Deixa nos comentários que a gente vai trocando aquela ideia. Eu sou o Leozeira, vou ficando por aqui, logo mais tem mais vídeos. Um beijo no coração de vocês, fui!